Well, both Mark Carney and Freeland have submitted the required paperwork in their bid to become the next Liberal leader. The two frontrunners getting the required 300 signatures and submitting the $50,000 deposit. Under the party rules set by the party, candidates have until 5 p.m. to submit their nomination package.
Yeah, candidates will eventually have to shell out $350,000 in total to be on the ballot. Registered Liberals will vote March the 9th right across 343 ridings. So for more on the federal Liberal leadership race, we're joined live by former Toronto Liberal MP Adam Vaughan. Good morning, Adam. Thank you for taking the time to speak with us. So by today, we should get a sense of exactly who is going to be in this race. We know, though, the perceived frontrunners here, Mark Carney and Freeland. I'm wondering, do you think at this point it is going to be close?
It's a tight race between the two. I think you see one where you can see caucus splitting in two to support one or the other. One group of caucus members sort of are asking, "Where have you been, Mark? We were here slugging out in the trenches, especially during COVID, and you were sitting back, sort of providing advice, but not really sort of building the government, building the team." The other side is saying, "Look, there's clearly frustration with the Trudeau legacy, frustration with ministers associated with Trudeau. It's time for a change." And so the change element and the more sort of right-wing side of the party, the more business side of the party is lining up behind Carney. And that seems to be where the big race is taking place. But I'd watch and keep an eye on Karina Gould, who represents the activist side of the party, which is not necessarily split in caucus or split around the cabinet table, but the staffers or the riding associations or the young sort of energy in the party. And the Liberals have a history. We have a history of sort of saying not one, not two, let's try three. It's how Stéphane Dion got in. It's how Pierre Trudeau got in. It's how. So the big three are there. Karina Gould seems to be in third place right now.
Adam, what about the Ruby Dalla, late entrance to the race? We just had her on our program about 20 minutes ago, sort of making her case very much on that blue Liberal side of the spectrum. They're talking about being more fiscally responsible with funds. What do you make of that? Because you just mentioned the connection all three of whether Mark Carney does it has with the original government, the Trudeau government. Ruby Dalla, her hands are kind of clean from that side of things.
Ruby Dalla is an interesting character. She's been around for a long time. She hasn't been around Ottawa in the last 10, 15 years since she lost her election back when the Liberals were trounced by Harper back in 2006. I think she actually even lost earlier than that. Some of these candidates, they jump into the race and it's a bit of a vanity show. There are candidates that'll be interesting to see whether they can make the $50,000 in short order. I mean, getting 300 signatures isn't that hard. But the real issue here is whether or not they resonate across the country, whether they have the organization to reach all corners of the country. Because if you're only campaigning in Mississauga or only campaigning in the GTA or just Ontario, you're not going to win this race.
Yeah.
I'd also want to ask you, Adam, about the endorsements. I mean, Mark Carney getting so many of them. It seems almost every single day someone else coming out, and some big names too, especially, Sean Fraser, Melanie Joly, Patty Hajdu. How much influence does that really have when it comes to the Liberal voters across the country who may still be making up their mind?
Well, ministers and sitting MPs come with organizations on the local level, at the riding level, which matters in terms of how the race is configured. But they also have been working across the country as ministers for the last 10 years. And as such, they have reached into ridings that maybe not held by Liberals, but they also have reached into cities and jurisdictions where there are Liberals looking to be organized and looking to be activated. So ministers in particular matter in terms of that organizational structure. But what it also shows is that Carney has sort of gathered some of the more effective communicators in caucus, and that'll be interesting to see how that plays out as the Liberals get together this week to sit in caucus. The rivalry between the two camps inside caucus is something which Trudeau has kept under wraps. We all remember the Martin Chrétien fights from years gone by. That hasn't dominated Liberal politics the last little while. It'll be interesting to see if this leadership race reopens those divisions.
Yeah, we'll see how many members they can sign up before next Monday as well, which, of course, is the deadline. And then we move on from there. We need to move on to the program. Adam Vaughan, former Toronto Liberal MP, currently a principal at Navigator. Appreciate the analysis. Would like to talk soon with you as well. So we'll talk soon. Take care.